Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this session on opening doors to doing business in Asia, and we've got a couple of very good speakers here today with a particular focus on the Chinese market in particular. Thanks up front also to our sponsor for the session today, Colour Vision Systems, and I'm sure you'll all show your appreciation at the end. What we'd like to do is have the speakers present to you individually, and then we'll take questions at the end of the session if we could, and then have some interaction as part of that. So please keep those up your sleeve as we go forward. Let's rip right into it. I'd like to introduce Mr. Raymond Jin. Raymond is the Managing Director of the International Department of Golden Wing Mao in China, which is today the biggest fresh fruits distributor to supermarkets in over 76 cities across China. He's also been doing wholesale business in Guangzhou, Shanghai and Beijing markets, so has quite a breadth of experience in the fresh produce market up there in China, as you can understand. He has also been one of the leading lights in terms of establishing exports from the Chinese continent out to around the world with a range of products including Asian pear, fragrant pear, and recently also some of the Fuji apple here into Australia. So I'd like you all to please welcome Raymond onto the stage for his presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks to the PMA organizer and my Austrian friends here. I'm very proud and honored to be here to give this lecture about some of my understanding and views about the way to do business in China. First, let me have a brief introduction of my company. I have been working in Golden Wing Mao for 12 years now, since 1999. The company was a rather small company when I joined the company in January 1999. That time in Shenzhen is a small office with not more than 24 people. And the mother company is established in Hong Kong in 1983 with a focus on the wholesale in the Western market of Hong Kong. So in the 1990s, the company started to develop a business in China side with introduce the foreign fruits into the China market and export the Chinese fruits to Southeast Asia through Hong Kong. Remember in the 1990s and before, the China is quite closed, and all the import-export business is done by all the government-owned company. There's no private company that you can have the import-export license. And also there is a quota system for all the Chinese fruits export. You must have a quota, so it's a limited volume to export. So that time, because the owner, Mr. Liu, the owner is from Xinjiang, northwest China, and with a quite powerful background in government. So he has the chance to get all the quotas and to work with the China government company to export the Chinese fruits. So that's the start of the company. And then in the 1990s, Mr. Liu set up the office in Shenzhen, and you see the chance of the business in mainland China must be very big, as the country is huge. So in 1998, we set up the office in Shenzhen and registered Golden Wing Mao as the mainland China company. So that's the start of the Golden Wing Mao in 1998. And yesterday we just passed the birthday of the company of 13 years. So today, simple look in this page, you can see we have in China over 40 fruit supply bases of all Chinese pears, oranges, apples, mandarins, pomelos, lychee, whatever, all the Chinese fruits we are getting. And we have our own 15 fruit packing house and cold storage, CS storage in China. And our main business, we have over 36 branch office in DC in China to supply the fresh fruits every day to supermarkets in over 80 cities now in China. And we daily deliver fruits to over 1,000 supermarket stores And compared to 1999, only 24 staffs. Today we have over 1,500 staffs working for supermarket business and wholesale business, not including the people working in the packing house. So we are in the fruit growing. We have some orchards. We are doing the export since in 1990s, and we do fruit wholesale in the Guangzhou market and Shanghai and Beijing and Shenyang, and we try to develop more wholesale to other big cities as well. And also, I said our focus business is to the retailers, supply to the retailers all over China. This is a map showing the business of supermarket business and wholesale we covered in China. You can see most of the strong economical places we already covered, and we are growing to the northeast China, southwest China, and also northwest China. And also in every city, every province we are doing, there's still huge potential to grow. This is the 13 years development of my company. We enjoyed 35% growth average per year. In 2010, last year, we reached 1.2 billion RMB sales turnover, and I think this year we should be able to reach 1.5 billion RMB sales. My experience for export the Chinese fruits to Australia and New Zealand, we are the first to export the yapea to Australia and New Zealand in 1999, and then followed by the Asian pears, the nashi. In 2002, we started also the first fragrant pear to Australia. And then in 2009, also the su pear from Shanxi also opened the door. Then last year, the China Fuji apple. I think this could be the biggest popular item for Australian market. All the pears, so many years export experience told me that it's not so popular. It's difficult to get Australian people to understand, accept. This need a lot of marketing job. I think it should be more easier for Fuji apple. And this year possibly we will make it happen, the China grapes to Australia as well. We already in the last month we did the Australian grape legally entry China. So on the contrary, we should be able to get the China grape into Australian market as well. So what we did in the past with Australia and New Zealand is we are pushing the market access happen on many items and exchanging fruits for Chinese and the Australian people. Just a picture for last month. I was with the China quarantine people and the Australian Grape Association people and the shipping line people together to see the first container crimson grape entry China. Of course, everybody knows we have done lots of business before already. Australian grapes are sold in China for over 10 years. But I think this is a very important moment. From now on, we can tell the retailer, okay, the Australian grapes are now officially allowed. You can sell in the shelf. Nobody can question that. We don't have to worry about any more this kind of risks. The opening of the container. So the history of my company, we can see the huge growing potential in China. We from in 12 years, 13 years time, from a very small size company, now we grow into the one of the biggest fruit business people company in China. We can see the growing potential is large. And as for the China market, I think these are the common figures that everybody knows. China is the biggest population, and China is the biggest fruit production and consumption country. In China, the Chinese consumer, they eat fruits is still very small volume per person per year. See, 45 kilo per year, which is very low. I think in Australia, it must be over 100 kilo at least. But even with 45 kilo a person, we have a 1.3 billion population, so it's a huge amount. And today we can see the sales of the fresh fruits is moving away from the wet market, is more to the retailers, to the supermarkets. But the wholesale market is still quite strong, as from like Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, they deliver the fruits to the secondary big cities and then to the small cities. So the wholesale function is still quite strong. And the retail sales of the fresh produce is still quite low. So it's just about 15% of the total sales. So while in Australia is over 74%, we just heard in the session. So it's a huge market spaces to grow. And some way of changing the fruit sales is moving to more centralized purchasing and sales. Yeah, more centralized to the wholesale market, more centralized to the big distributor like us, and more centralized to the big supermarket chains. The economy of China is good. We enjoy the high and stable growth every year. The government is doing whatever they can to push the economy and to not to grow less than 8% every year. That is right or wrong, we don't know, but at least the economy shows strong, and the government is doing a lot of things to stimulate the domestic consuming. So government is encouraging people to spend more money on the fruits, on everything. Yeah, and the people are getting rich. They get more money in hand, so you can spend more on the fruits and the healthy products. The population is big. The cities are booming everywhere. We can see even to the small towns, small cities everywhere in China is booming. Maybe we have heard a lot of bad news about how the China government people, they are taking away the lands from the farmers and give them a very little return. And then some people made a suicide, burn themselves to protest. But from this kind of news, we can see the city is really growing a lot. People are moving into the city. The farmers, when they get richer, they like their children to be in the city. The businessmen, they got rich money, then they send their children to the university and they buy the property in the cities for their children. So all this showing the strong growing of the cities, the urbanization. And we see the gap between the advanced country and China is big. So see one day when China become a developed country, then we can see how big is the potential to go. So here is a question list of the flash connection they sent me, and I will answer one by one. First one is what are the prospects for fresh produce supply to China? I think the answer is 100% brilliant for Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, it's no joking. It's serious. It's brilliant because we are off season, right? And we have a huge population. Recently, I got to know Australia is only 21 million population. We have 1.3 billion. So Australian population is like Guangzhou or Shanghai or Beijing city. So the market is getting bigger. I would say the cake is getting bigger. So need more people to share, right? Our currency is getting stronger every year. The RMB, US dollar is getting stronger. But also Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar is strong. But I think generally speaking, still good for import. The duty, the tariff is going down year by year. But this also need to be more pushed by say our fruit industry people to push the government, Australian government, New Zealand government to negotiate with China to lower the tariffs. More protocols on more fruits will be signed